one sector or one stock that is primarily in focus has to be Wockhardt Pharma. You did talk about it in the start. What is very key and crucial to know, and at this point in time, everyone wants to know what's actually lending that so-called healing touch for the stock, isn't it? The stock has healed so much as 90% in the last 1 month alone.
Well, Cheryl, actually that's the right term that you are using for Wockhardt Pharma, healing touch. Why so? Because the company's financials were not that supportive. We look at the financials back 2 years back from now. The company had a lot of debt and the products that it had in the markets were not that exciting. But what has actually changed for Wockhardt Pharma? Let's understand that. Because in the past 1 month, if you'll see, the stock is up 80%. Understood, we'll talk about the trigger. In the past 1 year, the stock is up 281%. And that change happened when the company tried to disclose that their antibiotic profiling is actually doing well. Some of the key drugs that the company has been working in are now showing results, and in the near term, the company is looking to launch that in not just the Indian markets, but in the international markets. 2 particular drugs, and those are antibiotics, because for antibiotics you will know some of the key drugs that are there in the markets from the likes of azithromycin and rest. There are very handful of them, but Wockhardt Pharma is working on these particular antibiotics, which could indeed be a disruptor and provide more options for the consumers, because after taking antibiotics for long, your body develops some resistance, so you have to switch those antibiotics. So the market share is actually huge. Now, one of the key reasons for the near-term trend or the near-term move for Wockhardt Pharma is the antibiotic drug Zanich, which is filed as WCK5222. Managed to successfully treat a cancer patient in the US, and that marks the first such instance of treating a cancer patient. The company is undergoing its phase 3 trials as well, and it's likely to be completed by the last quarter, and they are looking to launch that after getting an approval in FY26. Not just that, another key antibiotic is nifithromycin. That phase 3 is already done. The company has already applied to the regulator, an Indian regulator, for an approval, and once they get the approval in this next 2 months, they're going to be launching this drug in the Indian markets to start with. And this particular market is also very huge, because both these drugs offer multi-million-dollar opportunity for Wockhardt Pharma. These are niche products, high margin products, and indeed will help the revenues of the company. You'll also remember one of the key triggers was the QIP. Because the company had a lot of debt on the books, they have been working on their R&D. So after the QIP, where we did see investors like Madhusudan Kela as well as Prashant Jain coming in, entering and putting the money, that helped the company to actually improve its balance sheet, put some of the money in the phase 3 trials of Zanich, which is now showing great results. And with the expected launch of both of these, Cheryl, we are seeing there's no stopping for Wockhardt Pharma. Even in today's market, the stock is holding 4%.
Absolutely, Srishti, no stopping, and we've been seeing it for the last 1 week at least. That's the near-term focus, or the most shorter-term move coming in for Wockhardt, and what a rise, 35% in the last 1 week. Sorry, this week alone. It has been about 35%. So a spectacular move coming in for Wockhardt, and you've rightly outlined exactly what's moving in for the stock. But let's hear out what exactly Habil Khorakiwala, who's the founder and chairman of Wockhardt, had to say on back of the optimism that they are also seeing in their latest success with that antibiotic named WCK5222. My colleague Asta caught up with him. Let's hear out what he has to say.
Zanich is a new antimicrobial product, basically, and it works on resistance microorganism, and it has a new class of antibiotic. And there is in India about 750,000 patient resistance cases are there, and it will work on those patients.
If you talk about the timeline, how much timeline is expected? How can we see this truck in the markets? When can we see this? When can we see this truck in markets?
In Indian market, one can see a drug in about less than a year's time.
In a year's time. And talking about the overseas, what is the market for this drug overseas? Are you partnering with anyone overseas?
See, in overseas, what we will be completing phase 3 clinical trial early next year, and by the time it is available in the US and other market, it will be 26. and we would like to out-license this product to one of the big global pharma for marketing in developed world.
So can you share the update regarding another antibiotic which you're working on, nafithromycin? So can you share some insights on that? What is your stance on that?
McNef, that is nafithromycin, is an oral drug. It is used in pneumonia cases where there is a very significant resistance, as high as 60% to existing product. And when it is oral drug don't work, people get hospitalized. And that is where our drug is very effective. It has 97% success rate, and it's just a 3-day treatment. And it is a single drug treatment versus multiple drug, even orally doctor uses today.
So you were talking about the unique feature, especially for the Zinc and breaking point, especially, which is a historic event, as you stated in the press conference. Can you please highlight some points on that?
See, recently there is an institute for every antibiotic. They give you a breaking point, so that doctors know and the hospital know when to use the antibiotic. Generally, always the higher the breaking point, it is good for the drug, and drug is far more effective. We have given Xenic a 64 breaking point for all the 10 resistant cases, severely resistant cases organism. And the history of antibiotic of our last 100 years, 250 have been discovered so far. No drug has saved such a high breaking point. Means, in other words, it's a kind of a major event. Like when penicillin was discovered, 28, similarly Xenic is that kind of a drug which is now available. And I think all of us in India should be proud of that.
And what about the uses? How much of this drug has been used in India? Also talking about side effects, are there any?
This has been used for compassionate use. 30 patients have been completely cured where all other antibiotics have failed. And it has been used from 7 days to 70 days safely. So there is absolutely no side effect.
Okay. Coming to your book, sir, talking about the borrowing numbers, how do you plan to reduce it, and what's the status of the borrowing numbers on your books?
See, currently, if you remove our working capital, is about 400 crores. About 100 crores is due to be paid, which we will pay. And the QIP funds we have raised, partly we will use for NC R&D development, and rest for commercial business purposes.
Okay. Moving forward, what are your specific launches? If you can talk about FY25, any specific launches, any unique strategies going forward?
We would be definitely launching McNef in FY25, and that is Xenix, that is 5222 will launch in 26 in India.
All right, so that was the management of Wockhardt Pharma. But with this, let's move on and let's connect with our experts and understand that how is this stock placed technically as well as on the valuation front, the key triggers ahead, how the fundamental expert is looking at this counter right now. And with this, let me welcome Kunal Bothra on the technical side, as well as Vivek Karwa is joining us on the fundamental, with his fundamental view. Very good morning to both of you. And Kunal, let me have a word with you first, because what a phenomenal run of Wockhardt Pharma has shown over the past 1 month, YTD, or even 1 year. But at this price point, over 900 rupees, how do you see the stock placed right now, and how much more legs to the rally?
Good morning, Srishti. I used to be very proud that I used to use those technical jargons, but the jargons which you've used in terms of the medicines for Wockhardt Pharma, that's flummoxed me completely. Nevertheless, I think on the charts, I think it's been a phenomenal uptrend from 500, 550 levels towards 950, 970, where the stock has hit today. I think it's been an exceptional run. Now, the stock in 2 time frames. So on the short-term charts, of course, after this kind of a steep rally, the stock would probably have gone to an overbought territory, and it may warrant some sort of a cool-off or price consolidation. But what these kind of moves they typically do is that they open up the monthly charts for stocks. And Wockhardt Pharma, in that process of this 80%, 90% rally, I think has opened up a major multi-month breakout on the longer term chart. So the medium to long term prospects now look very attractive. Short term wise, I think a buy and dip strategy could be advisable.
All right, short-term strategy, buy on dips. But Kunal, just for my understanding or for our viewers' understanding, was this one of the busts that most of us have missed, Wockhardt Pharma? Because when you talk about pharmaceutical or pharma industry, I don't think Wockhardt Pharma has come up that many times in a conversation, has it?
Yeah, it never does it, because the stock has this very odd tendency of going into a sharp correction. You look at the last, I think, 5 years or 10 years of history for Wockhardt Pharma. The stock has apparently been one of the stocks where you used to see a sell on rise or a sell on rally, but this time around you've seen a complete change of trend. So I'm expecting that this could be a lasting trend for Wockhardt Pharma and not one of those same rallies what the stock had seen over the last decade or so.
All right, hopefully this is a lasting trend, and the investors who are in profit right now, hopefully they are able to cash in on that one. But Vivek, what's your take on this? Also, good morning to you, Kunal. Good morning to you, Vivek. Vivek, what's your take coming in on Wockhardt Pharma? Like I mentioned to Kunal as well, this is one pharma stock. While you have conversations of a pharma industry, has never actually popped up, isn't it? But now if you look at the charts, the way how the stock is performed, the commentary coming in the annual report, the management commentary, everything is looking like things are headed in the right direction for Wockhardt Pharma. And do you think this will be a lasting one for the company fundamentally?
Good morning, Srishti, and happy to see Kunal again, because I was not with him for quite some time. Not just pharma industry, even if you spoke to any fund managers of pharma mutual funds, Wockhardt was a no-touch stock. And I don't know, should I say this time is different? Because every time we think that this time is different, Wockhardt has always disappointed. So hopefully this new drug launches changes the fortunes. But what I feel is the run-up from almost 600 levels to 920, it almost does 1,000 rupees and then has seen some profit booking. So this run-up is already quite steep, first thing. Second thing, the benefits of this drug launches, even the launch is going to happen only in next 1 year. So after this rally, is the stock going to stay at same levels for next 1 year? That's a big question mark. So I would prefer booking small profits over here. And possibly if it goes back to 700, 750 levels at that point of time, I can have a look. Secondly, the benefits of this launches would come into the balance sheet over next 3 to 5 years. So pharma is a long-term game. It's not a short-term thing. Yeah, stocks rally on sentimental reasons, which is already done. So at these prices, I would be a bit cautious. Yeah, as Kunal said, on dips, I would look at it, but not at this price.
All right, so that's the take coming in on Wockhardt. Both of our technical as well as fundamental guests have given out their views, where Kunal feels that you can look to buy on dips this one. Hopefully, this time the trend lasts for Wockhardt, while Vivek is of the view that a small partial profit booking should be taken, because we're not sure.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.